Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Mandates, the show where my sister and I force each other to watch movies according to a monthly theme. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kelly.
It's September, and we're not above obvious theming here on Movie Mandates, so we went with back to school. Even though kids seem to start school in August these days.
What are you gonna do?
Well, back in our day, we started school in September, I think.
Yeah. Yes, after Labor Day. Like that was the
I
summer.
don't know. It's
it
been
was
over
Memorial
20
Day
years.
to Labor Day. That was literally what it was.
Okay. Anyway, I mandated Kelly watch School of Rock. But before we share our very correct opinions, it's only fair that since I mandated today's movie, Kelly gets to challenge me in a segment we call Trivial Trivia.
Yes. And today's trivia is unbelievably trivial. Because it's about you, brother.
Oh, well, yeah, that doesn't get more trivial.
It doesn't get more. No one cares than that. No, seriously, actually.
Skip to this timestamp.
You'll want to start here. So no, School of Rock, right? This dude, his dream is to be in a rock band, even though maybe that's not what he was supposed to do, type of thing, right? So there's that. Brother, what would be your dream role musically? I know you're inclined, and I understand that you're a bass, and if I knew then what I know now, I would have put you on an opera path because damn it, they need good basses. But we missed that boat a while ago. But I mean, like for me, would I like to sing the Queen of the Night? Sure. I'm not a coloratura, but it would be what a dream that would be. Even though I hate that opera. So do you have those like, man, if only I would have loved to meow meow been this?
A bit, yeah. I got to do a lot of what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I've competed on the international stage, and I have I have won.
Yeah.
Twice. So Mom has the silver medal. But that was so for those who don't know, I've been in music since grade school, and my favorite type of music to perform is a cappella music, which is why for probably 15 years or so, maybe a little less than that, I was big into barbershop, which is a 4-part a cappella harmony singing. And it works well for me because the deeper voice, I can't sing melody to most any song. It's just too high. But barbershop and also especially 50s, 60s era doo-wop type songs. There's that kind of stuff, and I don't have to learn lyrics because most of it's doobie 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 doo, barbershop's a little bit different. Usually you actually are singing the same lyrics as the melody.
You contribute to the story of the song in barbershop. Yes,
I mean, for Hello Mary Lou, there's a part of the song that's doom doobie doom doobie doom doobie doobie doom 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 doom, it does that, but most of the song is doing the same thing as the lead melody. The lead melody being something like pass me by one summer day, flash those big brown eyes my way, and though I wanted you forevermore. And that's why I don't sing lead. So instead I say pass me by one summer day, flash those big brown eyes my way, though I wanted you forevermore. Now, baby, blah blah blah, something like that. Yeah. Lot of fun, love it, and I've sung. I got to sing in a lot of different shows. I got to sing. Actually, did at least one musical in high school, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Not barbershop or anything like that, but it was still fun to do acting and
groundhog.
Groundhog. Exactly. I played what was the character's name? Mr. Bigley or something like
It is
that.
Bigley.
Oh, is it JB
Yeah.
Bigley or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong, but yeah,
It's something like that. And so I even organized a singing show, like a variety show when I was in high school, sang with a variety of choruses, where we went all over. We went to Disneyland and sang, got to sing the national anthem at a ballpark. Don't
oh, that's a
remember
dream.
which
I've never done that. I
one.
wanted to do that.
Might have been Diamondbacks, probably. I was in Arizona at the time, so it probably would have been Diamondbacks, I would think. So, not a solo, a 4-part harmony arrangement of the national anthem, which is really good. The only problem I had with it is they put us behind home plate because that's I guess just where they had the cameras pointing. So we were essentially singing in the batter's box, singing out to an empty field. Most of the people in the stands are behind us. I'm like, dude, I wanted to be like facing where the audience was, but where all the cameras are, that's just where they put us. So, whatever. I have done small shows, big shows, sang in Vegas, done international, competed at the division and district and international level. Had the opportunity to do a world competition tour kind of thing, but that was just way outside my price range. I couldn't budget the money, and I couldn't even budget the time to do that because it was like a 2-week tour. I'm like, gotta work.
No, that's I
literally can't.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So I got to do a lot. Even did it professionally. I mean, very few people actually make a living doing this.
Correct.
It's neat to go perform for a crowd and get $50. It's like, oh, that's nice.
You booked a gig.
Exactly. And I even arranged some of my own music. I can't write a melody to save my ass, but I can arrange music. And I also taught myself music, piano, sight reading, sheet music, stuff like that. And I sang in both small groups and large groups. So I've the medals I just showed you were for the chorus gold at international. But I did have my own quartet, had several different quartets. And to get to your actual question, the thing that never quite worked out to me is I could never hold a quartet together for very long. And I love quartetting because chorus singing's fine, but even the people say, I always have this feeling like I don't matter. I'm just one bass of several. I
was gonna say of 3.
I mean, depends on the group. I've sung in groups where I'm one of only a very small handful of basses, and in that case, yeah, the voice matters. But I've also sung in choruses, Westminster Chorus, Masters of Harmony, that are like 70 plus people. You've got like 22 to 25 basses. I'm like, I'm a strong bass, but when you're up in the 20s of people, one voice doesn't matter. It does, but I feel like it doesn't. So that's why I really loved quartet singing, because there's only one bass. Someone screws up the bass part, whose fault is it? It's mine. I can't hide behind anyone else. So I need to know my words and my notes and where I'm breathing and stuff. And came really close many times. My last quartet was my most successful hit. And we placed in district, and I live in Southern California, so that's the far west district. One which is Southern California. I think it includes Arizona and like the southern half of Nevada. It is one of the most competitive districts. So you top 10 in district, you're doing pretty damn good. Not necessarily qualifying for international, but you make top 10 in the far west district, you are quite listenable And we did make it top 10. I think we were like eighth or something. Scored
Awesome.
scored in the low 70s. I think we were short of qualifying for international, but we placed really well. And then our lead resigned because family.
Yeah,
It takes
yeah,
it
I
takes a lot
recall.
of time, takes a lot of money, and well, the significant time and money investment.
Yeah.
And he prioritized his family, and I can't fault him for that. But at that point, and that was in my early 30s, like 31 or something like that, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of working to, trying to find a quartet that can stay together.
Yeah.
I
I do
love
recall
singing,
this
but
time of
yeah,
your life. Yeah.
and so I've been out of barbershop for about a decade now.
Yeah.
I still sing in my own time. I still play around with music and stuff, but yeah, and I do miss that a bit. But yeah, so I really would have liked to do more quartetting. I would have liked to
Yeah.
do more performances, more shows, more competing. And we did do a lot of that. And we did make it top 10 in district.
You
And that's
just
really
wanted to
great. But
continue
but
and
I would have liked to do more.
yeah.
One other thing that I am on a couple of CDs too. I've
Very cool.
actually cut a few CDs too. One of which I am on the San Diego chorus, which is the women's barbershop chorus.
Well,
I
that's
am
right.
I am
I
on
remember.
their Christmas album because one of their songs is hits a B flat, and which for a guy is not very low, but that is an extraordinarily bassy note for most women. And so Kim, the director of the chorus, brought me in uh to help with the low with the two B flats that were in that song. So if you listen to one of their Christmas albums and you hear a nice,
Nice,
lovely resonant
solid.
B flat, some of that is me. I mean,
That's awesome.
they have. I
Pretty
think there
funny.
were two basses in their chorus who could kind of
Yeah.
um vocal fry down to do a
Okay.
very gravelly
Oh,
fry down
yeah,
to
yeah,
a
yeah.
B flat, but she brought me in to give it that tonality, and so that's always fun. So I'm on the women's Christmas CD. So
I love
yeah,
that.
so that's my regret. I got to
Whew.
do a lot. I got to do more than many, but I really would have liked to continue quartetting, and I just could never keep a group together. And part of the problem is being a pretty good singer. Not to toot my own horn, I'm pretty good at bass. Um, but I'm at the level where I mean I could just get any three guys and go sing and have fun, and that's fine. But the
Sure.
level that
Sure.
I sing at, or rather the level I want to sing at, requires people who are not just as good as me, but better than me, and
And
have my
passionate
work
about
and
it and
have the passion
want to have
and the
the,
time
yeah.
and the resources to do it. Also, you need to find the right people who, because you can take two great singers and their voices just don't match.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of if you're just having fun, it just grab some friends and sing. But if you're looking to compete, you need the right voices, and that's was something that was very I only that was something that's very hard to do. And by the time I was like 31, I lost and hit fell apart. I was
Yeah.
like, I just don't want to do it anymore. It's kind of like I hit a time in my life around my later 20s where I stopped. I was like applying for jobs. I had a job, it was working, but at some point I just wasn't getting the jobs I wanted. I'm like, you know what? I would rather just continue on my current career than I'm tired of the rejection, right?
Right.
I would rather just not apply for jobs, and I didn't for quite a while until a year ago I hit the job market again because cost of living way outpaced my salary. I really had to, so, and luckily
Wow.
I was successful in that. But yeah, so I would have liked to have done more quartetting.
Very exciting. Very exciting. And Jack Black got his second chance. Maybe somehow in some way you'll get yours. But you're still fulfilled, which is good. So there you go.
Yeah.
So therapy session over.
And
no, joking.
and I didn't take advantage of any children to do it. So, you know.
Very true. Very true. Did you freeze, or are you just having
No,
a smug look?
I'm just being very smug. And Sarah Silverman doesn't hate me, so you know, it's not as far as I know. She's never said anything mean to me.
That's right.
She's never said anything to me, but she's never said anything mean to me. So I assume we're good.
That's the point. That is the point. So, let's start at the very beginning, which is
there's two observations I want to make. One, apparently the movie was originally titled The School of Rock.
I was because there's no the here, and then they kept saying, I mean, this is also the musical, but like when they were like, we're the School of Rock, I was like,
and the title card, which is diegetic, is part it says the.
I love those. The titles were fun.
That was fun. But so I'm guessing the original title was The School of Rock, and then they changed it, and Richard Linklater's like, I'm not spending the money to digitally erase that. Are you? No, that stays. Who cares? And the second thing is Richard Linklater directed this. And I was like, I had no idea. That is not who I mean, Scanner Darkly and the Before Boyhood? Sunset, before
the trilogy,
Midnight, Before
Prom.
The all movies I've never seen, but
I haven't either, but I own them all because I had hopes that one day I would watch them.
So I was like, Richard Linklater directed School of Rock. Okay. So all right. Anyway.
So I was going to ask, because we ended I was about to say our last session, but no, our last podcast with really, really hoping to find a good movie. Because
because we've had a run of movies that were just not impressing us.
And it's not as fun to listen to two people going, oh, you know. So did this help make you happier?
It was better. It's okay. Better. It's fine. It's watchable. It's cute.
Yes, all of these things are correct.
Will ever watch it again? No.
So here's my thing about the movie.
It's fine. Could have been more, but it's fine.
But
I actually looked at some of the reviews, and they were particularly glowing, and I'm not sure why.
Okay, so yes, that's a thing. I've heard like people laud this movie, and I'm like, so when you chose it, I was pretty like, all right, I'm finally gonna watch it, because I'm just not gonna get to it on my own. So I was really excited, and I think I said this last time, I am a Jack Black fan. I actually am. I've enjoyed him.
Dude, I looked up his filmography. Son of a biscuit's been in like 100 movies over the last 25, 30 years.
He's great.
Many of which I've seen. Apparently, he's just like a background player that I never noticed.
Yeah,
he plays Carl Denham, something like that, in the Peter Jackson King Kong movie from 2006.
Yes,
I think.
And he's Beauty who killed the beast.
Yes,
to say the line.
Right. And he's of course Bowser in the new Super Mario movie, and I think that's literally.
You never saw the Jumanji ones.
I've not seen the new Jumanji movies. I've not seen.
Insane.
Anything. Well, I've actually seen it. I looked up the list. Apparently I've seen several movies he's been in. I just never noticed him.
He was an Anchorman. He drop kicked the dog.
I apparently didn't watch that far.
You didn't get that far. It comes later. He's in so much, but I like him, and I've always really liked him, and I find him visually appealing. I do. And in this movie though, like, so this is a man that I'm like in on. I'm like, I like you, you're great, I find you attractive, I find you interesting, I like how you deliver lines, and I hated his hair to the point that there, like, as Madeline Kahn would say, there are flames burnt. Like I hated his hair. And I know it's a like, I'm sure there are people who think that I don't have good hair, or that like it doesn't like, I know it's the least important thing ever, but when you're on a screen, like, it means it's deliberate. Like, that's the
Oh
thing.
yeah.
It was a deliberate choice of terribleness. So at go, I was like, oh, I can't even look at you because there's something about you that makes me feel like I need to take a shower. And then I was a little upset
Your
at the,
greasy faux page
yes.
boy haircut.
Oh my gosh. And then he goes into the school with the excellent Joan Cusack, and he's like, it's as if he's never had to deal with another adult before. And I was getting to the point, like 15 minutes in, that I'm like, oh God, I'm just not gonna like him. And this is going to ruin, like, how, oh God, oh, I'm not gonna like him. And even though I started with those strong feelings of your hair annoys me, P.S. it never got better.
No.
And he started off at me thinking like, you are the most clueless individual, like how you've made it this far in life without getting hit by a bicyclist even. Like, I don't know, like it's unfathomable to me that you knew how to put your pants on to get to school, or even owned that scarf, or knew how to brush your hair,
Or tie a bow tie.
or tie a or any of
Maybe
those
it's a
things.
clip on.
And yet somehow, as it gets further in, it gets better. It's because it's not about him, it's about the kids. And I think that he becomes like more, he's not a background. It's Jack Black. He can't be a background character. He does not
No,
blend.
this is a Jack Black vehicle.
It is, but it's not his, like, it made it, I stopped caring about those things. The hair, not so much. Cared about it every single time I saw him, and was upset every time I saw him. But like, he grew too. Like, I will say, as a character, he grew. And because he was able to do that, I was like, I got, but then every now and then he'd go back and I'm like, get the kids back. Everything with the kids was great. They were great. But anyways,
yeah, interesting class of students that range from age 10 to like mid-teens somewhere. Like, I think all the kids are supposed to be 10. I'm like, oh, those few there, they're like 15.
that's what I was like. It was funny because they
needed
kid,
the kids to perform. So
yeah, the kid, yeah, they needed to be kids that
and these kids are, to
really
my
good.
eye, they're actually playing the instruments. So
yes, I believe that this is true. That was one of the reasons.
That's either the best instrument fakery I've ever seen, or these kids are actually playing the instruments they're playing on screen. So
I'm dang near positive that
I'd put money on it. Yeah.
So, and I think that was one of
I
the
mean,
big
there might be some insert shots here and there, but for the most part, I think those kids are playing the instruments.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was, I was like, it, I didn't leave upset. I was like, okay. And I like the very meta, and so, just like you said, like everything from the very beginning credits to the end credits is all, it's within the story. Some like they're singing the credits, like, you're still at the theater, you should go home, beat traffic, or whatever. I'm like, how very Ferris Bueller. So
yeah.
Okay, so what else do you have to say, brother? Let's talk about it.
Well, it's one of my big issues with the movie is a me problem. And
at least you know that.
Yeah, here's the me problem. I just don't vibe with Jack Black's energy, particularly as a lead. I'm just not, he's not doing anything wrong. It's not a poor performance. I wouldn't even ask him to dial it back or tone it down. I just don't vibe on that energy level, which makes it difficult for me to enjoy the performance and the humor. That again, that's a me thing.
Right.
That's just a. But I think Jack Black, his energy works as like a would work as a supporting character. Like if the movie were a bit more focused on the kids, or, and I'll get to this, Joan
John Cusack.
Cusack. I keep wanting to say Crawford. Cusack.
No wire hangers ever.
No. Um, this movie is a very broad comedy. It's meant to be. It's specifically a very broad comedy. It's silly. It's not realistic. The characters are essentially all archetypes,
yeah,
which is a good call, especially when half of your cast are 10 to 15-year-old kids. And when you're working with kids, it's like, look, you find a kid who can do the one or two things that you need them to do, and you just say, play that type. So you've got the bossy in charge girl. That's the sum total of her character right there. That's it. You've
She's
got
a straight A student who wants to go to Harvard. Gosh darn it.
You've got the shy kid who plays the piano. Just play. Can you play the piano? Yes. You're shy. That's your thing. Not going to ask anything more of you. And that's totally fine, because while not all these kids are great actors, they're complete. All of them are completely serviceable in their roles. Yeah. Jack Black's character has a bit more depth, but broadly is as flat as the kids. He is a irresponsible man-child who cares nothing about anyone but himself and will use anybody to meet his own ends. And that doesn't change much, but the way the movie presents it is he'll take advantage of people, but he's never overtly cruel about it. Like right. he's not out to hurt or disadvantage anyone else, but he will use them, which makes him kind of unlikable. So when you start the movie, you think, oh, he's gonna turn over a new leaf and go, oh, I was doing this for me, but now I'm doing it for the children.
Well, I do think though, at the end when he lets little kid song, he's like, yeah, I'll like, and that to me is like the little bit of growth of like,
there's a bit of growth
that he realized I did this for me, but it shouldn't have ever been for me. Like, this isn't my band. These are children. Like, this is, and I think that he, there was a revelation in there somewhere, but, and I was, so at least for me, like I said, like he had growth. It was minute-ish, but like it was there.
Yeah. His roommate is just the nebbish,
downtrodden by the ball busting Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman is the one who wears the pants in that relationship, and that's her entire character. I pay your rent and stop defrauding my husband or boyfriend or whoever the hell he is, or I'll call the police. And yeah, I mean, it can't really falter there. And there's a little bit of growth. I mean, the roommate does stand up to her at the end. He's like, yeah. I'm going to go see the show. Do you want to go? And she's like, no. He's like, oh, all right, fine. And he leaves. And it's like, well, okay.
Well, and then at the end, he's teaching like the beginner class. So he kind of goes back.
Yeah. So he has a little bit of growth. And I
think that was like the thing is like, you just have to do something that gives you a little bit of joy, whether or not it's, if it's not found in work and it's not found there, like you have to have one thing that's bringing you the joy. So good for him. Good for the roommate.
But there is one exception to this rule, and that is Joan Cusack, who is the principal of the private school.
Yeah,
that Jack Black is pretending to be a substitute teacher so that he can get a paycheck, so that he can pay rent, so that he can follow his band dream. So he's gonna, this would never work. But the movie's very clear that this is a heightened reality. Like, no one would buy this. But the movie, I think, does a fine job communicating this isn't real life. It's silly. Just enjoy it. As long as you operate on, Jack Black's energy level, which sadly I'm a bit below that. 70 minutes into the movie.
Okay.
because I looked at this.
Oh boy, what happened?
Joan Cusack, Jack Black is trying to get the principal to let him take the kids on a field trip. So he asks her out because he hears that she's a Stevie Nicks fan. So he's like, okay, so I'm gonna take her to a bar, get her a few drinks, put some Stevie Nicks on the. It is Stevie Nicks, right?
It is.
I remember the right person. I was like,
yes.
For some reason, I'm like, wait, was it Joan Jett? Stevie
No,
Nicks.
it is.
Okay.
It's Stevie Nicks.
And so he puts Stevie Nicks on the jukebox, and to butter her up and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And then I was talking about how every character is essentially an archetype.
Yes, and
Joan Cusack ain't having none of that shit.
No,
She's going to put on a performance. She is going to have a character, and it's going to be round. It's going to be so round. And it started out, they're in the bar, and she's, he gets her a beer, and she's drinking the beer, like really nervous about. I'm like, oh no, what are they doing? Are they gonna make her like a weird ragey alcoholic, or are they gonna embarrass her? She's putting on a performance. She's doing a character, and it's making me uncomfortable. I'm starting to feel bad about the character because she's like drinking, and because she's not in her element, she's uncomfortable, and she's making me uncomfortable because she's drinking, and she's like, I shouldn't be drinking, but it's a tasty beer, and I like the music, and the guy's asking me out, and it's fine. And then he takes her back to the school, and there's that scene where they're sitting in the in his van chatting, and she talks about how she knows that she is an unlikable, uptight person, and she doesn't want to be that way, but she doesn't have any choice because the parents of all these children pay thousands of dollars to have these kids in the private school. And if anything, even one small thing ever goes wrong, that lands right on me, and I can't take the pressure. And I'm like, I want to give you a hug.
I know. She had a meaty one.
I'm like, this is the heart of the movie, or rather it should be, but the movie doesn't seem to care. Just kind of moves past that.
It does drop her pretty quick from time.
Yeah, she doesn't really have an arc. She's still a character, but she doesn't really have an arc. They try to do a little bit at the end with some other band guy hitting on her, but it doesn't really sell because that's not what was set up. It just kind of felt like they were looking at the edit and going, oh shit, we should actually do something with her.
That's because you're right. She is like the one who, she doesn't have an arc, but she actually has a, she's
actually a character, and she's the only one that I actually cared about and was invested in, and wanted to. I wanted her to have a happy ending, but that's not what this movie is, unfortunately. But it is broadly cute and charming, and the kids are adorable, and the music's fine, and they do the band thing, and it's adorable, and their little school outfits are great, and
he went all AC/DC with his little school outfit at the end.
One critique on Linklater here is the reveal of Jack Black in the school uniform. The gag is he's wearing shorts, which you can clearly see on the poster, but that should have been the reveal, and it's not. It's like you don't even see that he's bare-legged because he's wearing shorts
until close-up that like panned out to the whole band, and you're just like, oh, he's wearing a uniform, he's wearing shorts.
Yeah, something. There are a bunch of different ways you could do it, but it's not like until like the fourth or fifth shot until you're like, oh, he's wearing shorts. Oh, that's kind of funny. You'd think they would have mined that for a joke, but nah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
which I also found interesting because so the whole idea was we're going to wear our uniforms, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to wear our uniforms. So we're going to make you wear the uniform. But then when he gets on stage everyone's wearing like
completely
it's
uniforms, but
it's
very glammed up uniforms.
Yeah, what movie is that? Hold on. What is that one with the Shelley Long, Troop Beverly Hills? Is that the one where they do the fashion show and they're like,
yes,
for the Girl Scouts or the whatever, they're not Girl Scouts,
Wilderness
Girls. Yeah, and they do, but it's like it is the uniform, but it's not the uniform. That's how I felt about this. Is I'm like, well, that's
no idea how
but it's
no idea how he threw all that together at the last minute, but sure.
Yeah. I'm like, they had hair things. Oh, you forgot about our drummer who was the rebel.
Also definitely not 10 years old.
A very like tame rebel, but a rebel, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he rolls up his sleeves and he has spiky hair. That's as rebellious as he gets. It's punk, man.
Although I will say, I thought that there was some really cool parts where he was actively teaching them. Like, I mean, I know that all they learned was the history of rock and roll, but it was kind of cool, like that they made Jack Black's character someone who actually, like, sure, he's a fuddy-duddy, he's kind of a failure at a lot of things in life, but like he knew music. He wasn't a fan. So like,
yeah, his band that kicks him out, they're like, dude, like, you're good at guitar, but you suck as a person, so out.
Right. But he knew and loved it. And like that kind of redeems a little bit of it too. And in the fact that he's not just someone who, he has the history of love of it too. So. Anyways, that is, I'm sorry. I think I cut you off on something.
Nah, it's all right. There is one thing, just a social faux pas I would like to address. And that is, if you are ever in the audience, right, of some type of award show or battle of the bands or something like that, and the audience favorite, for whatever reason, doesn't win, and another group, the one who's announced as a winner, comes up on stage to collect their award, just shut up.
Yeah.
Don't chant, no, other group, because that's mean. I mean, I understand that, this is crap and the other team should have won. Fine, I get it. But that's not their fault. And that, the ones who won, it's not their fault. And it makes them feel really bad. Don't do that to anybody. It's mean. It's very mean.
Well, I mean, so when they showed them, so that lead singer was Adam Pascal. So when he was on stage, I was like, those kids better be pretty dang good, because that's Adam Pascal. So there you go. He's lovely.
Okay.
And a rocker. And he originated Roger and Rent on Broadway. He's done a lot of other things. He also originated the dude in Aida, Ramses.
Like, I've heard the name, like maybe if I saw,
probably from me, because I really enjoy him. But I'm like trying
to pull up an image of him. I'm just blanking.
Him and Heather Headley. Steamy.
Is she in the movie?
No, I'm talking about Aida and Adam Pascal. I've taken a left turn.
Okay, so have you seen the stage, the Broadway?
I have not. So I have this because he has worked this show.
Oh, okay.
And so when I was I thought about it, I was like, I can guarantee he has a show shirt for this. So I thought it would be funny to wear it. I mean, it's funny to me.
Right.
Because it just so happens that it is also a musical, which is funny because I'm not going to lie, when there was a wee moment of me, this actually did happen. I asked him, I said, did you ever work Legally Blonde? Because that could be a school movie. And he goes, no. And I was like, okay, well then I'm not going to pick that one.
You know what works? Another thing that really helps make the movie work is the fact that the classroom of kids are just totally into this whole thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Because
it didn't take long to convince them.
Yeah, Jack Black's character is taking advantage of kids to his own ends, but they're all digging it.
Yeah.
So it works fine because again, it's not realistic. It's not meant to be taken seriously. So and again, he's not he's not he's inconsiderate, but he's not doing anything to hurt or to hurt anyone else. Like he's not trying to make anyone else's life difficult.
Yeah.
And that's typified. You know, the kids are setting up a whole surveillance system to see where the teacher is, and particularly the lie about where they miss the audition and they're like, we'll just pretend to be, just tell them we're all dying of cancer or something like that, and they're all sitting on the street going,
and the one's lying in the middle of the
lying
street,
face down in the street. Yeah, and that was the kids' idea, and that joke they never circled back to. I totally thought that was going to be something. It's like, oh, I'm so you know, like the proprietor of the venue would go up to the parents, I'm so sorry about your children about to die. Like,
yeah,
never brought back up again. I'm like, okay, sure, fine, whatever.
My favorite moment was when near the end of the movie, just because of Joan. And at the very end, near the end of the movie, when Jack Black and the kids actually take the bus and hightail it out of there to the Battle of the Bands, and all the parents come in the office and they're screaming, and she steps away for a moment, and when she comes back in and she just goes, so all your children are missing.
Yep.
And she just goes, and it cuts away. And she's like, because I thought to myself, that's exactly, how else are you gonna do it? Like, there's zero other way to deliver that line to, and she just comes in, she's like, and I was like, and especially knowing, again, because she's a full character, knowing that character, you know that there's a part of her that's like, I give up. There's no way to be stoic and professional.
Yeah.
Right now, your children have just, you know.
Yeah, but the script says I take all the parents to the venue and buy them all tickets, and we go watch the show. So that's what we're gonna do.
Might as well just buy tickets.
Yeah.
I hope they were cheap tickets.
Yeah, because that was it was like 15 parents or something like that.
That's a lot of we just parents. Came, like I said, tonight we had the band concert, and it was funny. There was standing room only in the auditorium because they don't plan these things well. But you talk about theater etiquette. Kids are filing on stage, and of course, because they're fourth graders, and so the kids are filing on stage, and people in the audience are waving, and they're trying to get, wave, and I'm just like, they can't, guys. We are looking like there's a completely different angle there, but everyone was doing it. And then there were kids on stage doing the little binoculars, like, where are my family? And I'm like, and then the family sees that they're doing it, and so they're like, I'm right here, and I'm just like,
unless
they don't see you,
unless you are in the first maybe 3 rows, you can't see anything, and unless the house lights are up, you cannot see the audience at all. Maybe the first 3 rows, but you've got lights, big, bright, hot lights,
which is why they're doing this.
Which is why, exactly.
Which why they're doing the binocular thing.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because I
can't see. Wave if it makes you feel good. I can't see you.
Which is why I was like, you all need to be in like row 5 or back. I don't like seeing people I know in the audience. It's not.
I never bothered me any. I never. The only the only time the audience really didn't affect my performance, but the time that the audience in acting, rather, because when you're singing, you're definitely playing to the audience. You use that energy and kind of tailor your performance to how the audience is responding. But when you're doing a play, you're not supposed to see the audience in most plays. And there's some interactive stuff, but the instance I remember most of being just very aware of the audience is in Hunchback of Notre Dame. One
When
of
the
the
candle fell?
no
Oh.
one of the nights where Frollo dies,
Hmm.
there was just a particularly loud and revelatory reaction from the audience because my neck gets snapped and I fall to the floor dead. There, I felt people stand and clap,
You're like, yeah,
and I was,
Frollo.
and I'm like, you know, on some level, it's like I'm glad I made the character that hateable. I'm glad. Oh God, what was the name of the dude who played Quasimodo? What was? Do you remember his name?
Jared Horton.
Jared Horton, right? He and I choreographed that ending
Yes.
scuffle, and I'm like,
Yes, I
we sold it.
remember.
Good
Yeah, you
job.
did.
And three, on the other hand, hey guys, dead guy, a little respect for the dead, yo. You know,
Yeah.
that's the moment I remember being most aware of the audience was that specific night. But oh yeah, there were some other stuff where sets fell apart or the they were had to punch a door open. Thanks, Uncle Billy.
Thanks, Uncle Billy. Oh my
The
gosh, we
Wonderful
could have a
Life. Yeah.
podcast just
Just
about
about
like
the
talking about
disasters.
disasters. Like, let's go back through them, guys. Here it is. The time that I was off
All right.
Broadway and I had to make the audience leave because I thought there was a fire on stage, and I'm
Oh
like,
no,
sorry.
I didn't even hear that one. It's like, all right, time to exit the stage. Oh shit, I'm supposed to be off. No.
Yeah.
Everyone's just gonna carry on with their dialogue and pretend I actually made it into the house. Punch the door open out.
Yeah, that was me. That was me and Sean McNamara.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
because you played my brother in that show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
I was Mother Bailey and you were Uncle Billy.
One of my favorite, I didn't get this reaction, but one of my favorite audience reactions was a reaction to you, and it was in Crucible. Every time you stood up with as Sarah Good with your hair,
yes,
and
Lord.
the audience is like, ah!
I had 5 lines and I got a standing ovation for my hair.
For my hair. It was all my hair. And that wasn't a wig. I just brushed my hair.
I just brushed it upside down. And that's why I was cast as Simba in the summer stock show.
Nice.
Anyhow, so School of Rock.
Yeah.
What a pick.
Yes.
There's
Got a ton to say about this one.
There's
yeah.
not really a lot to talk about.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's there. Yeah.
I'm
not disappointed. I'm not appointed.
Yeah. I'm just very appointed. No diss. No diss prefix needed. Just plainly appointed.
There you go.
I read several reviews and I'm like, I don't see it. A lot of people just like the movie a lot more than I did.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. So, all right. Well, it's still September and we're still in back to school month. So, what do you got for me? What are you mandating?
So this one was actually quite hard for me. I went through laundry lists
because I had a short list, and I'll be interested to see if you happen to name one of the ones that's on my short list.
What the short lists were. But I am going to choose the dreamy Mark Harmon movie.
Jeez, okay.
From 1987.
Yeah, if it's Mark Harmon, it would have to be, sure.
Summer School.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
I think I have.
Oh.
I'm not sure. It's one of the I think I have. I'm not sure that I have.
I definitely haven't. I watched the preview and I was like, nope. But like, it's gonna be great.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think this is gonna be the one.
Okay.
It's gonna break, and it's gonna be like, there's gonna be some 87. So women.
I imagine there's going to be some problematic elements in the film.
But of the time capsule it was, I'm very excited to watch it. I'm very excited to laugh and add to the wrinkles on my face.
There we go. All right. Well, today's episode may have come to an end. But Back to School Month continues next time with Kelly's mandated movie Summer School. If you'd like to watch it too, check out the description to see where it's currently streaming or available to rent. Until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube or listen to it in podcast form on iTunes. And hey, if you enjoy the show, would like to help us reach a wider audience, engagement is key. So if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment. If you're listening on iTunes, rate and review. Much obliged, y'all. And with that, I'm Andrew. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen.
And I am Kelly, and you can follow me at Get Isengard.
We hope you've all enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates, and we'll be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone.